Good morning, Floss Tube. It is Monday, February 26, 2024. I realized my pattern has kind of been filming at the end of the month to show you what I've done that month. And so I didn't want to let February get away from me. And I had some time this morning. So here we are. My name is Lynette. My channel is Homesteading on the Home Front. And coming to you from a beautiful day in South Central Massachusetts. We have 50 degrees in the 10-day forecast, which is pretty great. Spring is on its way. So let's get into what I've been stitching. I will save some life updates at the end, maybe, if I remember. My project this winter, my snow day project, has been Sunday Morning Memories. Let me find the picture for you. It's an old Elsa Williams kit designed by Lou Fuller. I assumed, like everyone else, that Elsa Williams was a person and she was the designer. Not the case. Elsa Williams was a company based actually out of Townsend, Massachusetts. I don't think they're still there. But anyway, Lou Fuller designed this. I found out after I purchased it and was reading that she grew up in, Kentucky? Yes. But this, when I first saw it, reminded me of New England, which is why I wanted to do it. So this has been my snow day stitch. Primarily, I stitch on it when it's snowing or when there is snow on the ground. My goal is to get it done. So I have everything but this last section right here. So let me show you what it looks like first. I made some changes, some on purpose and some not. So from far away, let's see if we can we get it all in? Yeah, that's what it looks like. The changes that I made on purpose. I didn't like this windmill because it was like dark and hulky and it just stood out from the whole design. And I really didn't like this snowman and the kids. I'm sure from far away it'll look fine, but up close they were just wonky and it was a lot of confetti stitching and I just didn't like it. So I decided not to stitch the snowman and the children, and I stitched the windmill in gray instead of dark brown, and I think it fades a little better into the background. And you can see I left out the snowman and the kids. I may have to like fill in that little bit of foundation that I missed, but it'll be fine. So yeah, one more section left. We do usually get something in March. But I really want this done. And so I may just go ahead and finish it. I don't know when, the first part of the month. I'll talk about that in plans. All right, so that was the first thing that I've been stitching on. That got a lot of my time during the month of February, actually. We did, last year we had hardly any snow at all. This year we haven't had any like good blockbuster storms, but we've had more of the like 3 to 4 inch storms than we had last year. So I did get some good stitching time in on that. All right, up next, my car project or subbing project, if you will. I am working on the Barnyard Christmas animals. This is the one that I'm stitching on. Well, I stitched on this already. I'm restitching it to match all of the others. And so I'm changing colors. So I got the flowers in. I filled in all of this, and now I just really need the nest and the tail, and that whole series will be done, which I've been working on this for a while. I didn't go back and check in my stitching notebook how long it's taken me, but it's been several years because I started on this in Guam, and we've been home from Guam for 5.5 years. Can you believe it? Okay, then the one that really got some love, and I'm so excited that it did, was Dutch Beauty. Let me show the picture for those of you who don't know Dutch Beauty. This is Dutch Beauty. She is gargantuan. I started up in this corner, and then I ended up going down here. And so I've actually gotten 2 pages done. This is what they look like. I have changed a lot of the colors. I started this tree in the called for, and I wasn't loving it, and so I changed it up there. It's probably a little brighter than I would normally do, but these colors reminded me of stitching the Pink Sparrow sampler. So I'm just gonna use the colors that I want on this one. I'm not sure if I will be able to get it all in, but just to show you how big she's going to be, this fabric is cut to size. Like, you can see my margins, but there it is. That's how big this girl is going to be. Now, I think in my last video, I misspoke. I think I said that I would be taking her out for Monogamania, and that is not true. She is going to be my Sampler September project. My Monogamania project is going to be Live on Little, because that one absolutely needs to get done. I am not carrying that over another year. So Dutch Beauty, I would like to get a page done a month. Realistically, it's not going to happen unless I am able to catch up in Sampler September, which I won't be. I calculated it takes about a week to do a page. But I've got stuff that I want done. So I'm not going to give Dutch Beauty any time unless it's unexpected time, until Sampler September. Okay, and the most recent one, which you guys haven't seen yet, is Above the Sky, Marianne Rainer. Now I'm going to take out, there's a nice picture of the antique. I'm going to hold them side by side. Can you see that? I just very much preferred the antique look. It's less harsh, I think. There's a lot of like dark colors in here. So I use this picture when I pulled colors. Obviously not using many of the called for at all. Let's see. There we are. So this is what I have so far. I am this halfway through this over one personalization is the halfway point of the sampler. So I'm just about there. However, the top half of the sampler is way more stitch heavy than the bottom because this is all over one, as is this. So the border is quick. This is going to be quick. This will take a few days, but nothing huge. I've been trying to knock off the over one words a little at a time. Like when I sit down to work on this, I make myself do a strand and then I go on to the full stitches. Just because it's not even on. I didn't mention this is 32 count. I am stitching it with one strand of floss because I thought the coverage was fine, and I do not like stitching with two strands. Do I know what fabric this is? Yes, I do. It's vintage country mocha because that is my favorite. So 32 count vintage country mocha. Once these words are done, I will kind of concentrate on doing this. This is all personalization. You can see it says Marianne Raywood's work finished August of whatever. I'm not gonna use that exact. I haven't decided what I'm gonna personalize it with, but I did put my first name in so that I could then count from here and then know that I was counting correctly for the bottom half. So this has been a fun stitch. I love the colors. Again, my goal is to have this one done soon. This one is not going into April. Okay, so Barnyard Christmas, Sunday Morning, Dutch Beauty, Above the Sky. Those are the 4 projects that I have stitched on in February. And Barnyard Christmas, honestly, was only, like, I subbed for a day. And did I stitch on it in the car? I might have stitched on it in the car at one point, but it didn't get very much stitching. The vast majority of my stitching, Dutch Beauty got about a week and a half. Sunday Morning Memories, probably 2 weeks. And Above the Sky or Marianne Rayner got maybe 2 weeks. Give or take. I know that adds up to more than 4 weeks. So that's what I have been stitching on. My plans for March. I want to finish Sunday Morning Memories. Like I said, I don't have much left. I have the final section here, and a week would be more than enough to finish it. The great thing about this stitch is that a lot of these are just half stitches. Anything in the background is just a half stitch. And so it goes really, really fast. And then once you get the house outlined, it's just filling in. The foundations can be fiddly because you're counting. It's not that bad. Let me get the picture out one more time if I can find it, which I can't. There it is. Let focus. So all of this background is half stitches, so that'll be easy. And then, like I said, the house is mostly fill in, and then this is just easy. This will take me, I don't know, no time whatsoever. The back stitching of the fence and the trees, really easy. So I just need maybe a week, probably even less, to finish that one off. So goal, finish that by the first day of spring, whatever that is. Is it the 20th, the 21st? I don't know. Above the Sky, I would like to have done by that point as well, because on the first day of spring, I'm going to be starting Plum Street's Spring Moon. So at the Stitch New England retreat, my friend Stacy and my friend Beth, we had all said that we wanted to stitch it. Let's do a stitch along. But we were all kind of had projects at that point So we didn't want to start it immediately. And I said, well, how about the first day of spring? This was back in October. So that gives us time to plan and kit up, and it seemed like a good time to start. So first day of spring it is. Turns out I will be seeing them that next weekend for a local stitchy group. And so we'll be able to kind of stitch on it together in the beginning. Amy Gable Stitcher is already stitching it, but she hasn't touched it since, well, she brought it to Stitch New England, but I'm not sure if she was stitching on it there. But anyway, it's been a while since she stitched on it because she said she would wait for us before she started stitching on it again. So that'll be a fun little stitch along. I am going to forewarn you that I am changing it up. I know a lot of people like the rabbit in that pattern, but I just don't. So I already know in my head how it's going to look. That is not a huge chart. It's one of those that looks like it would be bigger than it is. I think if I do it on 20 count Aida, it's going to be like an 8 or 9 inch square. It is heavy stitching, but it's not huge stitching. So that's my March plans. Finish the 2 projects if I can, and start Spring Moon. Spring Moon, I would very much, I don't even know if I want to say this out loud, but I will. My goal is to have that done by the end of April. So it's going to be pretty monogamous stitching during the month of April just because I want it done. I am going to a retreat in April, and so I will be stitching on my other projects that I have prepped for retreat stitching. So it won't be a total monogamous month, but I'm hoping to get it done because, like I said, I want to do Live on Little for Monogamania. Now, last year I had a Monogamania project that I hardly touched because I sell heirloom tomato seedlings in the spring, and then during the summer I have a bouquet subscription CSA, and so I am in the garden a lot, and I have minimal stitching time, and May is going to be a crazy month for us. Little one is graduating, so that means prom and senior banquet and all of that stuff that comes with graduation. So I don't know how much is going to get done on Live on Little and Monogamania, but I'm going to try because I really, really want that done by August this year. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen or not. One of the projects, and I'll just show it to you because I brought it. I think you've seen it just like this. I didn't go back to my last floss tube and look, but this is At Home by Brenda Gervais. And I pretty much have it retreat ready. I need to fill in these, which is very easy to do at retreats. I left the deer for fill in, and I left all of the grass for fill in. I do need to kind of put something in here because originally this text box was over here and I centered it. But other than the fill-in, this one is pretty much done. And so I'm hoping to get a good chunk of this done at the retreat. I know. This house is going to take me longer than I think it is. And so whatever doesn't get done at the retreat will also have to get done. I would also like this one done by August. We'll see. That is an amazing chart. It's beautiful. The colors they just are my colors, and it's hard to put this one down. But you can see there's a lot of fill-in the house that needs to be done. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. And then just one more thing I have to show you. This is going to be a quick video. I was at the thrift store the other day, and I saw this one hanging up. all cross stitched on black. Can you even imagine? Now, I am not a bell pull person. These colors don't match my decor, but I couldn't leave it there. I think they charged me 50 cents for it. So I was trying to, on Instagram, I think I posted this, and I think it's too big for a drum. I don't know what to do with it. I would like to repurpose it because it's not gonna, I'm not gonna hang the bell pull. But it is what it is. For 50 cents, it came home with me, and it's gonna be loved and not languishing on the thrift store shelves. That's it. 20 minutes in, we're done. I got a lot of stitching done, but not on a lot of projects. And I think that was similar to last month's, and it will probably be my the way I go about stitching things this entire year. I have plans for do I have plans for new starts this year? I don't have any new starts planned until at least September. So if I have new starts planned, it'll be after September. So until September, it's going to be Dutch Beauty. It's going to be At Home. It's going to be Live on Little. It's going to be the ones you just saw. Unless I throw some smalls in there. So let's talk about market for a minute. I saw one project that I will stitch eventually. There was nothing this year that got me. Like, oh, I have to stitch that. I saw a lot of samplers, but to me, they were just more of the same. If I'm going to stitch a sampler, I either have to love the saying or I have to love the colors or it has to be an interesting scene, not just same old, same old. And I really didn't see any samplers that were different. I did. There was one exception. La Di Da has one that has different fonts in the alphabet and a very different house in the scene. So I liked it, didn't love it enough to pre-order it and have to stitch it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say about market. I didn't see anything that I loved more than what I already have in my stash. And so the one project I will be stitching eventually is the Botanical Bee from Hands On Design. Already mentioned I have a flower farm. I kept bees for many years. I will again once we can build Fort Knox, but we have bears here, and we had one get to my hives a couple years ago. So I will be stitching the Botanical Bee. I have a long, you've seen them, one of the long signs to hang on the front door, and it says home. And so I always look for round projects to hang in place of the O. And I believe the Botanical Bee is going to be the perfect size. So yeah, market just didn't do it for me this year. Last year I think I only ordered one or two projects, so I've been kind of good as far as market purchasing goes. I know it's not just me. I've talked to several others who I don't know, maybe we just have such great stashes. I do want to get a lot of my projects done that I have waiting in the winds. So yeah, I'm not going to be, stitching a lot of new market projects. It'll just probably be Botanical Bee. And honestly, it probably won't even be until next spring because I am a seasonal stitcher and I have this spring and summer booked. So probably next spring, I'll be getting that one and stitching it. All right. With that, I'm going to sign off. I wish you happy stitching. I will see you next month, the end of March, when it will be officially spring. Bye, Floss Tube.